Brotherly Love Boxing Show, sitting here with the one and only, the man who got 20 jobs in boxing, a boxing coach, boxing analyst, a writer, a lawyer. You keep on going, you let him know. Mr. George Hanson.
Hey man, a man many jobs. I'm Jamaican. You know, so we have to have more than one job. To all the Jamaican people, make sure you watch Mr. Hackett.
Now, how long you been involved with boxing, as far as training?
My God, I've been boxing since I was 12, man, the whole life. I was back when Jack Johnson was amateur. I've been around so long, I mean, I think I owe Jesus $1.
Now, how old are you now?
I never tell people my age. I'm a day older than I was yesterday, and I'm a day younger than I will be tomorrow. Two things you never ask a black man: how old he is and how much money he makes.
That's a true story. Now we got a lot going on in boxing. You got a lot of Philadelphia fighters involved. You know, how does that make you feel coming from Philadelphia?
Man, coming from Jamaica, my father had a love for boxing. Always wanted to box. 2-3 things I would have been: a race car driver because we watched auto racing, a jockey. Then I grew too big to be a jockey, so boxing was my passion. And I came here and I boxed. And how good do I feel? I landed in the capital of boxing. It's like letting a vampire in a blood bank. This is the greatest place for boxing.
Yes.
Philadelphia is the capital of boxing. All those people who talking about Oxnard as the capital of boxing, keep picking some cherries or whatever y'all pick out there. We grow fighters. We don't grow grapes. We don't grow cherries. We grow fighters. But it's a great feeling, man, to be here and just to see some of the young guys come up from the amateur that I've been watching: Damon Allen, Jesse Hart, Julian Williams, Hank Lundy. I mean, the list goes on and on. Derek Webster.
Yeah.
I mean, Scooter.
Yeah.
Scooter Fulton, Antonio Dubose. I mean, the list is so long.
Yeah.
Brian Bye-Bye Jennings, one of my favorite.
Yeah.
I was the ring announcer for his first amateur fight. Just to see all those guys, and you have the veterans: Steve Cunningham, Amir Mansour, Joey DeWaco. I mean, the list. Eric Outlaw Hunter. I was there when he first came into the gym, and I remember him in the Golden Glove. The first year they put this guy in the Golden Glove, he knocked out everybody. So just to see those guys, and I hope I know I missed a lot of them, and I can't say all the names. They're just so many really, really good fighters. My man, Tevin, the American Idol farmer, one of my favorites, man. I watched him come up through the amateurs. Watch him. He got stopped his first fight. Fought back through adversity. Was 7-4. And look at him now. The man is ready for junior lightweight championship. One of the best fighters in the division. I give him credit to Coach Chino, Rasheem Jefferson, and the genius behind it all, Mark Ciparoni, man. I look at Tevin Farmer and I sit up there and go, man, that's the closest thing we had to Pernell Whitaker.
I hear that. He
reminds me of Pernell Whitaker. So I'm so proud of all the Philadelphia fighters and the hard work they've put in and how well they're doing. This is truly the capital of boxing.
A lot of people don't know, but you're a Harvard graduate. Would you say Philadelphia is the Harvard of boxing?
Man, without a doubt. I felt so great so honored to be a graduate of Harvard Business School. I wanted to go there. It was a dream. I got a scholarship. I graduated, and I was on the Harvard boxing team. So to answer your question, we consider Harvard the best university in the world. We consider the business school the #1 business school. Yes, Philadelphia is the Harvard of boxing, or maybe Harvard. I should put it the other way. Harvard is the Philadelphia of universities. That's the way I see it. Harvard is the Philadelphia of universities.
I hear that. Now listen, right now you in your workout clothes, but you one of the best dressed men I ever seen in my life. Always got a tailor suit on. Explain why you dress like that.
Man, as they used to say on the comedian on Saturday Night Live, it's better to feel good. It's better to look good than to feel good. I'm just joking, but it's something I got from my grandfather. I grew up on a farm in Jamaica. My grandfather was always immaculately dressed. He was a farmer. When he went out, he had the nice pants on, the shirt, the tie, nice jacket. And just growing up, I admired my grandfather. I thought he was the greatest man on the planet. And just seeing him and coming here and having the opportunity to be in a national organization coming out of high school called Inroads, in business dress, you have to dress to impress.
Yeah, I agree.
I just love dressing properly. It's always business. You should put a suit on. You should dress appropriately. That's why naked people get no respect. People judge you by what you wear. But it's good to see some fighters who really get it, like the new Ray Robinson. Ray Robinson goes to the weigh-ins in a suit on. Reminds me of the great Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson wore suits when he was an amateur. Always impeccably dressed. Floyd Money Mayweather.
Now,
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Over the years, give me your, I say 10. You can give me 10 if you got it. Favorite fighters. You don't have to say why, but 10 favorite.
Tommy the Hitman Hearns is my favorite fighter. I love Tommy Hearns. When I was coming up, my coach Charles Cornbread Ramey, he had me brainwashed that I was a second coming to Tommy Hearns. You couldn't tell me I wasn't Hearns. If you told me I wasn't Hearns, we probably would get in a fight. And I got the best compliment once. There's a famous fighter when I was a kid. I was fighting, and I shouldn't date myself, but he said, you know, you remind me of Tommy Hearns. So Tommy Hearns is one of my favorite fighters. Style-wise, because I try to copy him. I love Jack Johnson. When I was 12 years old, I read a book about Jack Johnson. One of the greatest fighters. I consider him the greatest heavyweight of all time. Of course, I love Muhammad Ali. Total passion. Ali, one of my favorites. Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker, love him. Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, two of my all-time favorites. Salvador Sanchez. Man, I love Salvador Sanchez. what people say Cesar Chavez, Julio Cesar Chavez, the greatest Mexican fighter, and I look at them, really? Here is Salvador Sanchez. By the time he was 23 years old, he died young. He had beaten 3 Hall of Famers. Danny Little Red Lopez, right? Azuma Nelson, and Wilfredo Gomez. And I really love it. And of course, the modern day fighters, Roy Jones, I love Roy Jones, had all the skill, the talent, the flair, and Floyd Money Mayweather. One of the smartest fighters of all time. I love Floyd Mayweather. I look at Floyd, he was a wrecking machine coming out of the Olympics. He decided he could maximize his revenue by taking less punishment, and he changed his style. He's adaptable. Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest fighters of all time. I love Floyd Mayweather.
For a long time, I argued with that, but then I thought about it. All he did was make sure he got taken care of the way he was supposed to be. Well, how would you say, compensated the way he was supposed to be? Because at the end of the day, these fights wouldn't happen unless he enters the ring.
Right.
And a lot of guys wouldn't take the risk that he was taking, or either they didn't understand, what they was putting on the line. He understood and made sure he got it, and he made sure he also lived up to the hype. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I found nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean?
And I got to mention Andre Ward. Love Andre Ward. The man does not lose rounds. And Guillermo Rigondeaux. Love Guillermo Rigondeaux. If people talk, Lomachenko, if they think Lomachenko is so good, put him in there with Rigondeaux. Or put him in there with my Jamaican, Nicholas Walters. The Axeman Walters. I was saying at Jamaica, the Axeman, I'm going to put him to sleep. You understand what I'm saying? Doesn't have a chance. If people think Lomachenko is so good, put him in there with the Axeman. We're going to chop him down.
That's what I'm waiting to see.
And then we talk about fighters, man, that I have so much respect for. Steve USS Cunningham. One of the biggest fighters, a true gladiator. If I'm going to war and they ask me to take an M16 or Steve Cunningham, forget the M16, I'm taking Cunningham with me. I'm taking Steve Cunningham.
Because he's always ready.
Steve is always ready. He's going to fight till his heart falls out. And of course, I'm on the Jesse Hart experience. And Julian Williams. And I can't say enough about my man, the Hammer. I was in here when the Hammer started his career here. The Hammer sold tickets. That's my man, Hammer and Hank Lundy. And the young guys coming up. Chrisman, the Iceman Cardo, looks like a choir boy, but he's the meanest little guy you can never find on the planet.
Yeah, he definitely mean.
That's my man, Christian Cardo.
Now, how did you get into the writing part and the analyst part of boxing? Like, how did you end up doing those things?
I tell you something. Writing has two passions I had. I've been reading since I was a kid. By the time I was 8 years old, I probably read beyond that high school level. I mean, my grandmother, I grew up on a farm, sat me on her lap. We read the newspaper every day. My father, everybody in my family, we wrote books. My father was a school teacher before he became a police officer. Got a couple of aunts who were school teachers. So I can't ever remember a day that I wasn't reading. And then I loved to write. In high school, I took a ton of English classes. When I went to Drexel University, I majored in accounting and English. So I took all the writing classes, and I had a professor, my mentor, Dr. Delancey. She said, write every day. And she really taught me how to write, the art of writing a story. And I just had a passion for writing. I just kept writing. I wrote every day. Just write. That's all I did. I wrote about boxing in grade school. So back in 2001, my buddy Jay Brady started Awesome Amateur Boxing. He wanted somebody to write for his booklet. So I would write all the stories.
Okay.
Then Boxing Beat asked me to write for them in 2006. Started writing for them. 2007, started covering it. But it's not that I started writing about boxing. It's that I started getting published for writing about boxing.
Oh, okay.
And it's been quite good. The past 4 years, I've won Philadelphia Boxing Writer of the Year. And
yeah. And you deserve it, man, because I told you before when you wrote about the fight I had with Juan Rodriguez, it felt like I was reading a Harry Potter book. And it's just an article about a fight, but it felt like I was reading a book. It was real exciting, man. Almost like I could see the fight without, actually watching it.
Right.
Even though I was involved, the way you wrote it out, I was able to see it. You know what I mean? That was amazing to me.
The thing for me is this. You did beat Juan Rodriguez. I had you winning. You won the fight. But the thing for me is this. The article was called Art of War. And you had the mask on, says Art of War. And I wrote the story, how the book was written. But for me, I don't want, to me, my job as a writer is to let you see what I'm seeing from ringside. And because I boxed and fought for so long, I feel I can sense what the fighters are feeling and see what they're seeing. So when you read it, I want you to be in the ring with them, feeling the punches, feeling the sweat, hearing the music, hearing everything, being a part of the crowd. So if you read one of my stories, you should feel like you're in the venue, or you should feel that you're in the ring with the fighters. And I knew I had something when you told me that. Several people have sent me emails, so I really appreciate it, because that's the only reason I write.
Yeah, you do a great job, man. Now, you have a lot of talent, and also there's a lot of things that you do. What do you do for pastime, like as a hobby? Just to relax yourself.
What I do as a hobby, and I tell people this, my hobby has been the same since I was 12 years old. I have a ton of books at home. I'm always reading. I try not to do anything on Sundays except just read and write. That's my hobby in boxing. Training fighters here, Marion Anderson. That's my hobby. It's my passion. And what I do in the pastime, if I'm not watching boxing, I'm on YouTube watching the old fighters trying to steal from them.
Yeah.
I sit up all night, 3-4 hours, and I watch Archie Moore.
Yeah.
I mean, I just watch Archie Moore. Jersey Joe Walcott, I must have watched him at least, God knows, thousands of the time, watching him how he comes off the rope and through that overhand right, how he slipped in on Ezra Charles and threw that uppercut. So what's my passion? I've been doing the same thing since I was 12 years old. I have one love, boxing. If you ban boxing, take it away, dig my grave. That's it.
And you stay in some great shape too, man. I see, man.
You gotta stay in shape, man.
Yeah.
You gotta stay in shape. I tell people, I want to live till I'm at least 150, and gotta stay in shape. To me, I can't think of anything else. I've been doing the same thing since I was 12 years old. Reading, coming to a boxing gym, living in a boxing gym, and that's it. I can't think of anything else, really.
Yeah. Now, can you tell the fans where they can meet you at? I mean, check you out on social media.
Social media, I'm not I'm the last man to join Facebook, but I'm on Facebook.
No, Dirk Gooden, the coach of Paul.
Right, he's my friend now. Dirk, right.
He just got on about a month ago, 2 months ago.
I think I got on Facebook in 2011. A friend of mine said, it'd be great, put your stuff on Facebook. She had to set it up for me.
Yeah.
And I got on Facebook. I'm glad I got on there because I've been able to connect with so many writers and fighters from all over the world.
Yeah.
My man Ben Dowdy, Matt Hamilton from the UK. We were always talking, and a lot of the fighters and trainers and announcers. So it's really good. So I'm on Facebook, George Hanson Jr. on Facebook. That's about it for social media. You can read the mouthpiece at cboxinginfo, cboxinginfo.com. That's my man Chris Williams. That's his website. He's a writer, and he's always had a space for me on his website.
I got one last question. Like you said, you have a history of training, fighting, so you know what it's
I had
like.
102 amateur fights under the greatest trainer in the world, Charles Cornbed Ramey.
That's my
Hank Lundy's trainer.
That's my point. So you know what it's like to be in there. How do you feel about the guys who judge fighters who've never been in the ring, or tell them what they should do with their careers, and call them names and stuff like that?
For me, maybe I tell people, I don't go to a dentist who've never been to dentistry school. So if you're not a dentist, please don't tell me about a root canal. I have little or no respect for trainers who have never boxed. If you've never boxed, that's just me. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
If you've never boxed, I don't need you to be trying to show me anything. I'm just going to tune you out. Really. That's just me. If you've never been in the ring, if you've never fought, I don't need for you to tell me anything or show me anything. That's just me. Maybe it's a level of arrogance. If you've never gone to dentistry school or medical school, please don't tell me you're going to tell me about a root canal, or you want to give me fillings, or you want to clean my teeth. I'm not. But boxing is where you have pimps and prostitutes. All you need to be a trainer is to throw a towel over your shoulder, and you're a trainer. And son, do this and do that. I don't listen to half these trainers. It's filled with pimps, prostitutes, whatever. And I feel sorry because if you don't know what you're doing, you can get somebody killed.
Yeah, that's true, man.
I'm glad I had a great trainer, and I learned from great trainers.
Yeah. Thanks for your opinion, man, on this game. And, I'll be looking forward to talking to you a lot later, man.
Well, let me say something to all the Jamaican people. Make sure you watch this. The man Greg Hackett, all right. One love.